Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome in, Hunt and Hill on a Monday from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio downtown in the capital city. I'm Hunt Palmer. He is Hill, Jeremy Hill. Casey Gaines is back. Naylor Sharp back there on the ones and twos. Mr. Hill, how we doing?
Well, I'm doing great, and I have, one thing to say. I would go Death Valley is greater than weddings, but it's your cousin, so we'll make a special, we'll make an exemption for this one.
Great weekend. Enjoyed the wedding. It was incredible. Happy for my cousin. And good stuff in Tiger Stadium. And it turned into one hell of a victory celebration after it was over. I can only imagine what it was like in that stadium on Saturday night. If you can't tell, I still don't quite have my voice, and I wasn't at the game. That's how much fun we were having during the game while we were watching it at the wedding, and then after the game was over, and then the band's still rocking and rolling, and the bar's open, which was quite good. So it was awesome, and the Tigers slay the Dragon in Tiger Stadium for the first time in 12 years since LSU had beaten Alabama, and it just look on Instagram, look on your TikTok or whatever, look at your text messages from Saturday and Sunday, it just, not to steal the SEC's, but it just means more to beat them. They are the bully. They have owned us. They have brought so much misery over the last 15 years, whether it's the elation that we felt in 2011 winning, only to have them come back and embarrass us in the Superdome, and then you come back in 2012, which may be the most intense I've ever personally seen Tiger Stadium, and you're playing in that game and you feel like you've got it won, and they break your heart again. Leonard Fournette goes over there with the undefeated team and the Heisman front runner, and they just get smoked over there. You just consistently have gotten beat by this team. And yeah, it's fun to beat Florida, and yeah, we love to beat Auburn, and that's all well and good, whatever goes on at the end of the season with A&M. This one is different, and the just absolute outpouring of emotion that went on at the wedding venue I was at, in Tiger Stadium, in your homes, in the bars, wherever you were watching that game, it just feels different to beat these guys.
No, it is, and you kind of know that stranglehold they've had on this program, and really, you had the case. It was a rival, especially early on in that Les Miles era. We kind of know all the emotions every fan had here for Saban when he took that job. And you're going back and forth with those guys, and then they just kind of took the lap, and they kept lapping you, and you just really couldn't compete, especially in Tiger Stadium, against them at a high level. And so you can just feel the emotions from before the kickoff was even started. All the people there, the celebrities there, just everything going on in that atmosphere. And to see that team come out and battle, I thought to start the game the way they did was so important, and not allow Bama to score early and just keep that crowd in it. It's one of the loudest times I've ever heard in that stadium. Everyone from beginning to ending of that game was just in it, and they knew what was at stake, and you could feel that. And to see Coach Kelly go for their third at the end, I think really put a great exclamation point on why everyone kind of shows up to LSU and why we have such a great fan base, because it's the moments you live for that are those moments that ended that game.
It's a special place. LSU is a special place. That stadium is special, and we're in the middle of it. We've got bias, we've got emotional ties to it, but when it's like it was on Saturday, that's why it garners the reputation that it does. And then you've got Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler getting on a plane and talking about it for 15 minutes, and you got Ryan Russillo on his podcast today talking about him coming once again, and he was down there on the field. You've got Shaq in the house. It's a special, special place. There are people in Baton Rouge and nationally that will say Tiger Stadium is the greatest place in all of college football. That's a little bit subjective, and they're all pretty good. I've seen the places in this Southeastern Conference at their best. It's loud and it's great. But Tiger Stadium's up there with all of them. And on Saturday, you got every box check that you needed for that great environment. It was awesome from the start, according to every single person that was there. And you see the absolute jubilation at the end when LSU goes for two. I'll tell you the story. We're down. I was watching basically the entire game on my phone. I never missed a play, but I was watching on my phone. I was at one of those cocktail tables by the dance floor, and I'm looking at my phone, and one of my buddies comes over, and she says, hey, they're watching downstairs in the bar, just come down. So I walk down to the bar in the venue, and there's 30 people down there in this room watching the game. I think all of them but two were LSU fans. And I knew one of the Alabama fans I knew. And so we're watching, we're grinding. It's the last like 6 minutes of game time plus overtime. We're down there in watching the game, and Daniels breaks it off and scores. And I'm standing there, and there's like 5 or 6 guys that are that we're talking back and forth. And I didn't say a word when he scored. I just held up 2 fingers. It's like, you got to go. You have to go for 2 here. Yeah. Brian Kelly did it. At that point, you have a quarterback who is a nightmare on the move from 2.5 yards out. And guess what? Their quarterback can go grab his helmet because he's not playing anymore. And I don't need to watch him play anymore, quite frankly. He is so good. It is that touchdown he made in the fourth quarter almost made me cry. But I said, you got to go for 2. And Brian Kelly calls a 2-point play. And everybody knew what the call was going to be. You're going to roll Daniels to the right and give him the run-pass option. And Taylor came open immediately. And he made the throw, made the catch. And obviously everybody comes pouring out. But Brian Kelly had to go for 2 there. I said in the Superdome, kick the extra point. You're playing these guys straight up. Your offense is moving the football. Let's play some more. I'm ready to roll. In this instance, I don't want Bryce Young coming back on that football field, staying on the sideline. And you saw Brian Kelly, if you've seen the video, he calls to go for 2. They get the play in. And Brian Kelly just takes his headset off, unhooks it, hands it to somebody. That's it. No, he's just a fan, just sitting there watching. And it was absolutely the right call to go for 2 there.
Yeah, on the sideline, I was just going through an emotional roller coaster at the time, so I don't think I was thinking properly. I was right there seeing Bryce make 3 guys miss, launch a strike to a guy wide open, and then we go back down the field. We get the PI call. We score the touchdown. I'm like, oh, my goodness, he's about to drive and do it again. Sets up the field goal. I'm watching the field goal come off his foot. I'm like, oh, he dunked it. Like, there's no way that has enough juice, and it just literally barely carries over. So by the time I got to overtime, my emotions, I wasn't even thinking properly. So when JD scored, he scored probably 2 yards in front of me. I'm like, okay, all right, it's not stopping our offense, but we're not stopping them. Like, what do we do? And then I see them on the field, and I see they got 12 players on. So I was like, why don't we snap it? At least snap the ball and get it off.
Free play.
Free play. But just having the guts to call that, and like you said after the game, if someone told me you got 1 play to beat Alabama, and it's
2.5 yards.
Yeah, it's 2.5 yards to beat Alabama. You're going to take it. So I thought, for Coach Kelly to really, in that moment with everything at stake, you just kind of know, it's a season for both teams. Like LSU, I think, have an opportunity to go to Atlanta. We know what Alabama does. That avenue for them to still go to the college football playoff was wide open. And to go for it all right there and have a play drawn up that was just perfectly executed, I thought it was huge for everyone. You could see the emotions, right after he scores that touchdown, the place erupted.
And it's just, like I said at the top, it's like it's that coach, it's that program, and just the amount of absolute agony they have put LSU through over the last 15 years. I remember very vividly being very young, very, very dumb, and drunk, and thinking in my head in 2008 when Saban comes to Baton Rouge, even though they were undefeated, I think they were number 1 in the country at the time, and LSU was struggling. It was the pick 6 year. I was like, he's never going to win in this stadium. We're never going to allow him to come in here and beat us. And then he beat us in 8, and beat us in 12, and beat us in 14, and beat us in 16, beat us in 18, embarrass us in 20. And it just was like, oh, maybe we won't ever beat him again. And these guys came together. Nothing fluky about it. Nothing by chance. They just straight up outplayed Alabama and beat them on the last play of the game. And for this program to be in position to do that at this point is remarkable. It really is. We're going to go through the game. We're going to go through where LSU sits, where this program sits, all that over the first hour here. Of course, the Saints do play tonight. We'll get to some of that in the second hour. I want to get to our SEC gambling picks. I got news. It was not a pretty one for your boy. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But just a special, special night inside Tiger Stadium. You've been on the field. You've now you've been as a recruit. Where does that one rank up there in terms of environments for you?
In Death Valley, it's I hate to be a prisoner of the moment, but it's definitely, I don't see how you don't put it in the top 3 automatically. For me, I got to go 07 Auburn. That was a special moment in that stadium. 2012 was, the atmosphere was very similar.
It was unbelievable in 2012.
Yeah, but the celebrities at 2012, I still remember just everywhere. You look around, there's a celebrity standing right there. But this one was right up there, and I think seeing us kind of have the being that fan base now that is storming the field, there's a time where you wouldn't even think about doing, it's Alabama, we're going to crush those guys. But now just kind of what happened these last 2 seasons, I think it only made the atmosphere much crazy. Like, you literally could not get off the field. There were so many people on the field. You were sardines stuck in the can, and it was just that type of environment. So,
can I briefly go off on a little bit of an aside here about the field rushing and the $250,000 fines? I don't know what the SEC does with the $250,000, but what are we doing here? Like, it's not going to deter anyone ever from going on the field. There's not a single fan who's ever going to go, man, this is going to cost LSU $250K. Like, I'm not going. No Tennessee fan was thinking, man, this is going to cost $100K if we. No one cares. There's nothing you can do. The police can't do anything. If 60,000 people decide they're going to jump over a 3-foot chain link fence that has a circumference of 350 yards, they're coming on the field. I mean, the only way to stop them is to start hurting people. And that's the reason they're fining people, because they're trying to keep – this is not a fixable problem. If you want to just continue to collect money, whatever, more power to you. But the idea is stupid, because you can't stop 60,000 people from jumping the fence.
No, you can't at all. But I will give the Death Valley faithful something. They had probably 30 guys dedicated to both goalposts. They're like, look, have as much fun as you want. We're going to protect the eye of the tiger, which I thought was cool. No one trampled on that eye. And also there was more than enough security for each of those goalposts. And I saw the meme of this like a little guy trying to protect the goalpost. But, yeah, they were much more worried about the goalpost and the eye of that tiger. Let the fans have their fun.
They've certainly had plenty of fun. Still having a lot of fun down here in South Louisiana. As you look up, LSU controls the Southeastern Conference Western Division. We had a meeting this morning to talk about Atlanta. Like, I can't believe we are where we are. And so in the next segment, we're going to kind of go back to the stuff that we said back in August and where we sit now as you're into the first week in November, and how different worlds you're standing in. It's really unbelievable. The opening hour here on a Monday brought to you by The Shed Barbecue. The Shed, of course, the famous location in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Now they're here in Baton Rouge on Burbank, looking for a place to grab some barbecue lunch. Shed is a great spot. One more tailgating weekend in Baton Rouge in a couple of weeks. You want to get some tailgating barbecue out there at The Shed, more than happy to accommodate you. Or if you're watching LSU play the Hogs coming up on Saturday for lunch and want to have some lunch over at the house, The Shed can hook you up. The Shed Barbecue bringing the opening hour each and every Monday here on Hunt and Hill. We'll be back with a little bit more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Ford. Check out the service department at Bayou Ford. Car service, not a lot of fun. Sometimes it costs a little more than you want, but we've got to take care of our vehicles, and Bayou Ford makes it as easy as humanly possible. You don't have to go and sit in the waiting room all day and scroll through your phone and wait for them to find a part or get to your car, or maybe your third. No, you don't have to do any of that. They will bring you a loaner vehicle. One of their 6 full-time drivers will bring you a car. They'll take your car to the dealership, perform the service that's needed, and they'll bring your car back to you. You hadn't missed a beat. You got the kids to school. You got to work. Everything is on and moving. You don't have to waste an entire day having your car serviced over there at Bayou Ford. They do a great job.
Yeah, head over to BayouFord.com. They've got a new special tab that updates daily. It's complete with a photo of a vehicle, the savings you can score, as well as a video profiling the vehicle and all of its features. Don't see anything you love, that's okay. Keep coming back, because those deals will update on Bayou Ford as they roll them out. It's all right there at BayouFord.com.
BayouFord.com is the website. Bayou Ford, they're going to do right by you.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Me, Jimmy Ott, and Charles Hanegraaff, live from City Slice Pints and Pizza, recapping LSU and Bama, and looking forward to the Saints Monday Night Football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers at City Slice, 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right. I thought about how to do this, how to present this. I gave it a lot of thought yesterday, and I don't have another way to go about this other than to say I'm shocked at where LSU is right now. I think everyone here that listens is aware of my pick in August. When I went around the roster and I said the default is they've got talent. And I use air quotes. It's LSU. They've got talent. And I said, wait a second. I'm looking at the offensive line. I don't know if there's any pros there. I'm looking at the running back room. I don't know if there's any pros there. I'm looking at the quarterback room. I don't know if there's any pros there. I'm looking at linebacker. I don't know if there's any pros there. I got a bunch of corners and safeties that have been playing elsewhere that I don't really know about. Like, how do I know that quote unquote they just have talent? That's why I said they're 7-5. I don't think they're going to be very good. It's just going to be a week-to-week thing. I gave all these talking points and consistently went through it, and there's no other way to say it than I was just dead wrong. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. It would be disingenuous for me to come on here and tell you that I'm 100% certain Will Campbell and Emory Jones are starting SEC left tackles as of August the 12th or whenever I did that. Harold Perkins is the best player on the team. How am I supposed to forecast that in August? And then you've had guys step up. Mekhi Wingo's become an all-league type player. B.J. Ojulari is his star. Major Burns is playing great football more often than not. And Josh Williams, I'm supposed to tell you in August that Josh Williams is going to come in here, 3rd and 7 against Alabama in the fourth quarter. He's the one getting the ball on a running play, and he's going to break 3 tackles and get you a first down. Like, how am I supposed to forecast that? There's no way. This is absolutely as unprecedented a rise from a football team as I can recall following LSU. There have been better teams. There have been teams I'm more confident in. There will be more accomplished teams. But I've never seen one where I had one outlook going into the season, and the result was so polar opposite. I could not have whiffed anymore in August. I'm sorry. I tried. Yeah. It wasn't for lack of effort. I gave thoughtful reasoning. I rolled through everything. I just whiffed it.
Yeah, no, I had a little more, sunshine and rainbows with my thoughts for this team. And I think I had them 9-3. Could still be 9-3, but I'm feeling 10-2. I'm just saying, I feel 10-2.
I hope so.
And I thought first for me, I thought the first thing I thought, even last year, you were in some games. Obviously, you got blown out off the field some games, but the coaching staff, and I think that's on full display with what you're watching now. We're just watching this offense to this point in the season, watching this defense, and what do you know? Special teams. I didn't see any blunders. Like, is the special teams back rolling now? And so it seems like in all three phases, it's just night and day from what you were watching last year. And then obviously we kind of watched early on in the season when this team was going through their growing pains. But I think now kind of Coach Kelly has this identity, for this football team on both sides of the ball, and that's something that this program is really lacking. And to me, I was just looking at what he did in the transfer portal to get the guys he did in short order. These aren't guys, that really didn't play or didn't really fit their mold or what they were trying to do. When you look at Converse, to me, who definitely deserves a game ball the way he played, and the ULL corner, Gardner, he hasn't been getting torched this year.
He's going to be a pro.
Yeah, he's been playing extremely well, and you just kind of look around and all the talent they've kind of, mix and match together in short order. Especially on the defensive side of the ball, without your best player in Mason Smith, I think it's absolutely incredible what they're doing. And so to think, 9-3 was a little tongue in cheek, but that's definitely on the table, and you definitely got to commend this coaching staff and the players for really turning this thing around in the short order that they've done.
Look, that's the point. It's above my acumen for football. I can't give you specific examples in most cases. I just don't have the knowledge, but I'm telling you, LSU is exceptionally well coached. They're exceptionally well coached. They have gotten so much better than they were against Florida State across the board. Brad Davis's offensive line, it took him a couple of weeks to figure it out. You got Turner in the middle, kicked Bradford inside. You put the freshman out there. Like, they had to move some pieces from what they were, in late August, but they figured it out. Jaden Daniels has grown immensely since the first couple of games of the season. Joe Sloan deserves a ton of credit for that, and so does Mike Denbrock. The tight end position, where you're getting huge contributions now. The way Frank Wilson has handled the running backs, when he's used to handling Leonard Fournette and Jeremy Hill and Darius Geis, it's a little different deal here, but they're getting production from that position. Defensively, the adjustments we've seen LSU make has been unbelievable thus far. Now, I know Alabama got cooking in the second half, but it's hard for me to blame LSU's defense and Matt House when Bryce Young makes 4 defensive linemen miss, ducks through another 2, and then throws it 40 yards down the field. Sometimes a guy just makes a play. Yeah. But they played great in the first half and limited Alabama to field goals in the first half of the game. Matt House has just been awesome. The corners and safeties, they've taken all these guys from all over the country, wherever they were playing. They've molded together, and they rarely have huge busts. The linebackers, like Harold Perkins, is just a stud. Listen to this tweet from Cooper Patagna on Twitter, who works for 247, talking about how much they moved Harold Perkins around. It's remarkable what they got accomplished in the Bayou. Gosh, how many times did Cooper tweet today? I saw this tweet this morning, and I figured I could just immediately pull it up. I've been scrolling for an hour and can't. There it is. Okay. Harold Perkins played 67 snaps in the game on Saturday. His previous high was 37. So over those 2 weeks, the bye week, they doubled Harold Perkins' snap count. He played 23 snaps off the edge, 23 snaps in the slot, and 21 in the box. He's basically playing like 3 positions. They're asking him to spy. He can do that. They're asking him to come off the edge and rush the passer. He can do that. That's coaching. They didn't have that 2 weeks ago. They went into the bye week. They figured it out, and he was easily the most noticeable player on the field. And Ryan Russillo was talking about the game. Mm-hmm. He doesn't follow recruiting at a college level. He just knows LSU Bama's fun, so he comes down. He's like, this kid, 40 Perkins, I mean, he's the best player on the field. It's like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, he definitely is, and I think we've been calling for that since the first week of the season. Like, why is he not playing more snaps? But I think when you're playing against a quarterback like that, you had to have him on the field, and you get to see that closing speed. I think that's the first thing that jumps off your TV. If you're watching in person, you just see that guy just shooting across the field. There's a time he was fine. Bryce broke the pocket, and next thing you know, he's throwing it out of bounds. And you just don't see guys put that type of pressure on Bryce Young, and you kind of saw in that touchdown on full display what he's capable of. But I thought Perkins' approach to this game, you don't really – he probably makes a couple more of those plays that you kind of saw in that fourth quarter if you don't have a guy like Harold Perkins on the field. He's just a game changer. And for Matt House to, be creative in the way he uses him for a young freshman, I think it's absolutely incredible. If you just line them up on one side, you're going to start seeing the chips. You're going to start to see the backs coming in. You're going to see the tight ends coming in. But he's moving around. He's dropping them in coverage. Even on that first interception, he's in that passing lane to really make Bryce hold it a little longer than he should have. And then now you hear he goes Converse coming in and getting the backside and getting that interception. So he's affecting the game in coverage, blitzing the quarterback spine, whatever you're asking him to do. That's what he's been doing. I think for this defense, he's been a godsend because without him, I think there's a lot more plays these teams will possibly be getting off on you without the pressure he brings to a football game.
I told you last week that when I looked down as an LSU fan and saw David Randall on the sidelines, it made me feel confident. I thought that LSU would have a plan, would have adjustments. He would do a really good job. I feel the exact same way with the way that Matt House has coached this defense for the last couple of months. I think they're just doing an incredible job. Offensively, Mike Denbrock deserves a ton of credit as well. Again, as a novice like X and O's guy, but you'll be able to put a little bit more color into this. I love this little concept that he's come up with where they do the read option, and then you see Jaden Daniels get to the edge and force defenders to make a decision. He can dump the ball off short, or he can run it. It's basically a triple option. They got the read option give. He can pull it, and then he can run to the right, and if they don't come up, he'll take off and run for a few yards. If they do, he's got a guy to throw it to. He puts so much stress on defenses with his speed, and he's making great decisions. And to me, I look at that play and I go, that's a cool concept that I've never really seen before. And it's not like it's a little game. Like Nick Marshall did it to them in the Kick 6 game, and I think it was almost like an accident, but it ended up happening. LSU's just going back to it time and time again because it's a very difficult play to have everybody ready to defend. Now, it's on tape now, and people have seen it a good bit. But they ran it a bunch of times against Bama, and it's just the amount of options Jaden Daniels has and his ability to make correct decisions has been really, really good.
No, it's been phenomenal. And I think to be to this point in the season only with one interception, I think it's absolutely impressive. And I think that's really, if you're really a football nerd like myself, that play kind of set up the two-point conversion where you're putting Mason Taylor in motion, you're putting him in short motion, you're slipping him on the backside, and then he did a counter that time. He acted like he was going to go all the way across, and then he's coming back the other way, running full speed, and that just looks like all the other plays you were running all game. And for a team you knew that would be in man coverage in that situation, it was a perfect call. But that's just off the stuff that Denbrock does. He sets you up all game, gives you the eye candy, kind of taking a page from my man Lane's book. But when you got a kid like Taylor who's athletic as he is, and to me who's gotten only better since he's played on this football team, you can kind of do some of those things he does. And Jaden had one of those plays where they were trying to run that, and then he reverse fields and goes for 20-plus yards down the field. So it's just a really, offense that I think is finding their identity right now. And you got the players who can go out there and execute it. When your quarterback's not turning over and using his legs to the way he is, it's a difficult offense to stop.
Look, we don't have to go back into the past, but, just for reference, I've seen games where I looked at LSU's offensive front against Bama and said, man, they really are having a hard time blocking them. And back in 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, those years when LSU was having trouble blocking Alabama, they didn't have a second punch. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't really run it at them, so we're not going to score. That's eventually what, and they literally got shut out a couple of times because if you can't, and LSU, make no mistake, was struggling to block Alabama in the first half of the game. And Mike Denbrock got creative, and he helped his offensive line. And they got Daniels on the move, and they created some quick passing opportunities. And you look at Daniels' numbers, and you go, okay, well, yeah, he didn't throw for very many yards in the game. But he completed a lot of passes. They were moving the ball forward all night, and eventually they broke through and hit some bigger plays in the passing game and some in the running game as well. It was just really strong coaching to have a second punch when it was difficult to get them blocked, but you were able to create something, Jaden Daniels completed 22 passes for 182 yards. Usually you complete 22 passes, you're going to throw for more than 180, but they were just moving the ball forward a little bit, and finally they could hit the ball down the field to Taylor and get a pass interference call. They hit Neighbors on a big play. They're just well coached. All of this to say, they're a well-coached football team.
No, they are. And it's just, like I said, that's kind of something that they really struggle with to start the game. To me, if you'd asked me before the season, Josh Williams, a former walk-on, is going to average 7 yards a carry against Alabama, I probably would have laughed at you. I probably wouldn't have believed that too much, but you got the backs going, and then we kind of see Emery. He's making these plays out of the backfield, catching the ball. They're just, running things to get guys open looks. And to me, that's what the great coordinators do You scheme your guys up and you make it easy, and you see Jaden make that progression like you said. Some of those deep balls kind of sailed on them, but when you keep giving your guys on the outside opportunities, it's going to force flags. They're going to go up and make plays. The play Malik made to me, you can make a pass. That's one of the plays of the game. Down the sideline, not much room, still getting your feet down, and you drive and score out of that. So this offense just night and day from what we've seen. I think it starts with JD5, and also, too, the offensive line. Got to keep giving those guys credit to have 2 freshmen against 2 potential – well, I'll just say those are 2 NFL edge rushers that Alabama played in that football game. And to do the job they did against those guys was absolutely incredible. So you can make a case everyone because it's a game ball, because it took everyone to play well in this game, and that's exactly what they did in Death Valley.
Mind if I take a minute, take a little jab at A&M? It's not really the time for it, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Some developing news over in College Station. I'm reading this from Billy Lucci's Twitter, who is the owner over there at TexAgs. And A&M had 2 5-stars committed in this class. One is the top linebacker in the country, who's a top 15 player in the country. His name's Anthony Hill. He's been committed for a bit. He just decommitted publicly. And Billy Lucci from TexAgs tweets, "Losing Anthony Hill's commit is particularly devastating blow to A&M's recruiting class, but more importantly than anything else, the Ags need a linebacker of his caliber in the worst way." He continues, "Anthony Hill decommitting on the same day that Harold Perkins was named SEC Defensive Player of the Week for his stellar showing against Bama as well. Something." Yes, it is. As y'all are well aware, Harold Perkins was committed to A&M for a quick minute. So 2 of the top linebackers in the country committed to A&M. Looks like neither can end up in College Station. And the guy in purple and gold looks pretty salty at the moment. So that is quality stuff. Things not great in College Station currently. Auburn has no coach and is favored to beat them on Saturday. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Still talking LSU and Bama. Come back with this opening hour brought to you by The Shed Barbecue. You're listening to Hunt and Hill.
Holding down the middle of the day. This is Hunt and Hill.
Love telling you about One Bath and Closets. David Duvall and his crew, 3 decades redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. 30% off. 30% off your closet remodel if you tell them that Hunt and Hill sent you over to One Bath and Closets. Look, we've all got closets. We all got a bunch of stuff. If you've got shoes piled high, ties all over the place, and you just looking around, we got to fix this. One Bath and Closets can do it for you. They're licensed contractors, and it's a one-stop shop. So if you do need some construction done, they're certainly qualified to do that. They can do a renovation. Or if you've got some closet space, but you don't know exactly how to use it efficiently. Do I have a tie rack? I don't. Do I have the right proper drawer? No. David Duvall and his crew can customize a solution to you. It starts with a questionnaire. What do you have? What do you need? Then they customize a project for you at One Bath and Closets. On the bathroom side, they've got tub to shower conversions that are gorgeous. You can go to the website, onebathandclosets.com, and take that tub right out and put in a gorgeous glass shower. They can do that for you over at One Bath and Closets. Go to the website, One Bath and Closets. I promise you, they're going to do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. Find him at onebathandclosets.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've got that blue sky, I've got that sunshine.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
Let's go, defense!
We get it done with passion for our fans
and love for our community.
We are the Tigers.
Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We're recapping LSU Bama and setting the table for Monday Night Football, Saints and Ravens. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Man, it's just amazing the way this town feels when LSU is 5-5 like last year, whatever the hell they were, and if you're in control of the West, just beating Bama. It's like everybody is aware of it at church, at work, text messages. Like, it's just a totally different deal. And I want to be really, really clear. Like, if LSU can go out and take care of business on Saturday and Alabama beats Ole Miss and LSU wins the West, that is such a significant accomplishment. Winning the SEC West is a big deal. And, yeah, I'd like to have the Florida State game back. That sucks. But, and, yeah, we want to win national championships. And LSU, we'll see how things go over the next 3 weeks and then see what you can do if you can get to Atlanta. But winning the West is a big deal. And for LSU to be in the position they're in right now is really a testament to everybody that's over there, because we know where this thing was in January. And Brian Kelly talked a lot about that today. And there are too many examples of thinking you've got the foundation laid and then it all crumbles, because it's a hard thing to do, to run a football program and maintain elite status. What Nick Saban has done in Tuscaloosa is a joke. And what Kirby Smart appears to be doing in Athens is just obscene. Because, look at the fall that happened under Ed Ogeron over the last 2 years. Look at Jimbo Fisher, comes in, wins 9 games, has the season where they're ranked 5th in the country, wins the Orange Bowl, and then it's all kind of falling apart right now. Sam Pittman inherits a disaster. They go out there, do some recruiting. They're competitive the COVID year. Last year they win 9 games. They come back with a lot of guys returning quarterback. They're losing to Liberty. Like, there are levels to this. Arkansas is never going to be a team that wins the conference 3 years in a row or anything. But they built it up, and now they're not maintaining it. A&M built it up, and they're not maintaining it. So to sit here and say, well, Brian Kelly guaranteed that this is just a steady path straight up, that's a little ambitious. But it's okay to feel really good about where LSU is right now, because the coaches are good, recruiting's going awesome, the vibes are incredible, and you may accomplish something really significant here in year one. And you gotta get it built, and it appears the process is going a little more quickly than almost anyone thought.
Yeah, and it's hard to me to see it really flipping that quick, because I think the biggest difference between A&M and LSU, when you've had to get those opportunities to get to Atlanta, the Aggies just haven't done it once. They've been in the SEC, 10-plus years now? get to Atlanta once.
10 years.
So for LSU to do that in the first season with a new head coach, I think it's absolutely impressive. Not saying it's locked in yet. Still got a couple
It is
games.
really
to win.
not.
It's not locked in yet, but it just feels that way. And I think that's why you just see the emotions change so much overnight in this town when you win a game like that. And I know we kind of joked about it when you beat Ole Miss, like, hey, we control our destiny. Hey, it's actually a real thing. And to see them go out there and play to the level that they have is absolutely incredible. And like I always say, like when you're in that building, obviously the outside world, they're going to say, well, this team stinks. They're probably going to go 5-7 first year, rebuild. But, you get momentum and you just see the confidence of this football team, the exact opposite of what you saw from that Mississippi State team where their head coach is thinking these guys are scared of Alabama. Like, just put an Alabama shirt on. They're going to run from you. This team absolutely didn't back down at all from the first snap of that game. They were getting after Bryce, and this offense was scoring, moving the ball down the field, and to have that fourth quarter where you had to have it situations to go out there and execute and do that. That's what it takes to become a big-time program. That's how you actually take down Bama. You're one play away from losing that football game, but to continue to execute and find the things you need to do, that's to me what shows a organization or a program that's really going in the right direction. To see Coach Kelly do that in this quick order, it's you got to tip your cap to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive. There was nothing fluky about that game on Saturday. There were no crazy calls. We can talk about the fumble out of bounds, pass interferences, whatever. There were no trick plays or anything fluke. Like, LSU just lined up. They pressured Bryce Young the entire game. They covered wide receivers very, very well. They ran the football when they wanted to, when they needed to. They made some big plays with Jaden Daniels' legs. Look, Mason Taylor makes 2 contested catches for scores, whether one the touchdown, one the 2-point conversion. You just beat them. You just lined up and beat them. And I didn't know that was even possible back when we looked at what we thought of this Alabama team back at SEC Media Days and what we thought of this LSU team back in August, where Alabama was so star-studded with the Heisman Trophy winner and the projected #1 pick in the draft and all these 5 stars. And here's Jahmyr Gibbs, and look at all these guys that they have. And LSU's kind of cobbling a roster together because there was nothing left when Brian Kelly got here. And to have it turned around like that is amazing. And you've got to continue to capitalize it, and you've got to go out there and win the game. Here's the difference for me. LSU's had some really good teams that have been in control of the West. To me, I thought the 03 team was bulletproof. I thought the 07 team was bulletproof. I mean, they weren't because they lost to Kentucky and Arkansas. I thought the 19 team was bulletproof. Like, this team, nothing really concerned me. I don't have that level of confidence in this team for whatever reason, which is why I'm just scared of the Arkansas game at 11 o'clock in the morning coming off of it when it's 38 degrees. I'm scared of going to College Station when they've got absolutely nothing to lose because I don't necessarily feel about like this team that might win the West as I did about some of the other teams that have been SEC West champions and Southeastern Conference champions. Do you have that type of confidence in them? Have they won you over to that point?
I mean,
what's your concern level that they could lose these 2 games to Arkansas and A&M?
Not very high. I don't think so. I think from what I've seen from this team these past 3 weeks, I believe in momentum. I believe in getting on fire. I believe in, teams can get better throughout a season, and also teams can go the other way, which you kind of see in College Station right now. So for me, especially an Arkansas team that just lost to Liberty, fighting who freezes, not much going on over there for me. Obviously got to respect their running attack, but I think you're going to run into Mekhi Wingo every play and Jaqualine Roy, so have fun with that. And obviously everyone knows how I feel about the Aggies, and so I'm not really too worried. My concern level isn't really too high. Obviously, you got to go out there. We just seen 7 ranked teams lose over the weekend, so got to still go out there and execute. But this team seems like they're locked in. They're listening to the voice that's leading that locker room. I feel good about those football games.
You just got to capitalize this. You've got to continue to recruit. You've got a building right now where everybody is happy and motivated, and it's moving in the right direction to such a degree that it's just you want to. It can either be lightning in a bottle or it can get away, and it got away from LSU in 2020. And this is not 2019. Don't misunderstand me. This is not even close to that. But it's attempting to be the start of something. And I just cited all those examples. I mean, Gene Chiswick's out of there 5 minutes after he wins a national championship. You've got to continue things moving forward. And in an era where there are so many things that can create issues, whether it's NIL or whether it's the transfer portal or whatever the case may be, that it can crumble so quickly. And when everybody seems to be clicking and moving and everything feels good, it's so hard to get that. And LSU's just got it in spades right now. And it's so crazy because that ball could have easily hit Mason Taylor's shoulder pad, popped out of bounds, and you're feeling like, man, they're moving in the right direction. They're close. And now you're sitting here going, it's here. We've got it. Yeah. It's such a difference that just one little thing can do.
Yeah, no, it's a game of inches, and I think you saw that in the game that was just so close, and we kind of talked about those scores when you do beat Bama. No one's, other than Clemson years ago, you're not running them off the field. You're not beating them by 3-digit touch, 3 digits, or three scoring possessions, or double digits. It's really games that come to the wire, and that's what you saw. That's what it takes to beat that Alabama well-oiled machine with a special quarterback like Bryce Young, and you saw that on full display in the fourth quarter. I was on the sideline just shimmering in my britches, just really worried about what he could do to affect that game. But you kind of see that whirlwind that it creates in that atmosphere when you do have guys like Desmond Ricks, crystal ball looking like 75% right now, which is really, really good.
Desmond Ricks is there. Javian Tobiano was there rushing the field. Billy Lucci said on the Luchador podcast yesterday, which I never miss when they lose a game, he said yesterday Javian Tobiano is going to be a Tiger. I mean, he said that on an A&M show. So the secondary is the one place where they're trying to go get some guys, and you've got Desmond Ricks and Jalen Toviano, who are two of the top 15 DBs in the country, who are looking really good at this point in this class. Really looks like it's coming together to be really, really solid. So, again, things are really good in Baton Rouge, and that makes things a lot more fun. For sure, makes things a lot more fun for us. Another day at the office. I want to talk about Bama. Let's do that to close out hour number one. Always brought to you by The Shed Barbecue on Burbank. Tailgating platters available. Great place to watch the Saints tonight if you want to get on by. Got cold drinks, a lot of viewing area, and obviously that delicious barbecue over there at The Shed. They bring you the opening hour every Monday here on Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
LWCC elevating and celebrating champions of Louisiana all November long. We are telling you about Molly Kimball.
Yeah, Molly Kimball is a registered dietitian, nutrition journalist, and founder of Ochsner Eat Fit. Created in 2013 as a resource for all things wellness, Eat Fit is a nonprofit initiative of Ochsner Health that makes the healthy choice to the easy choice to collaborate partnership with restaurants, markets, and other food establishments.
Look, I think a lot of people didn't eat super healthy over the weekend. On Sunday, you're kind of feeling maybe a little hungover. If we want to get back in business and eat fit, Molly Kimball helps us do that all around this great state. She has partnered with dozens of restaurants to help them in creating dishes that are delicious and also are eat fit. They're healthy for you as well. She's doing a great job for our economy and also for the people of our great state of Louisiana. In addition to Eat Fit, Molly also bridges the gap between the idea of wellness and real life through some other ventures like her weekly podcast and weekly TV segment over on WGNO. Molly Kimball is this month's Champion of Louisiana, presented by LWCC. LWCC is Louisiana Loyal.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at GoCatch.com. That's GEAUX Catch.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
Do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile power.
Join me, Jimmy Ott and Charles Hanegraaff, live from City Slice Pints and Pizza, recapping LSU and Bama, and looking forward to the Saints Monday Night Football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers at City Slice, 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Opening hour Monday brought to you by The Shed Barbecue. Delicious ribs. The turkey is awesome. Get that pulled pork as well. The brisket is good. That sandwich form or just a 2-meat platter. Those sides, you got your potato salad, mac and cheese, your greens. Love the food over there at The Shed. If you're looking for a place to watch the Saints tonight, The Shed, always a good spot. Appreciate them. We're hanging out in the opening hour each and every Monday. All right, Jeremy, where's Bama? I mean, the program.
I heard a great comparison, and it was very simple. It was, the Georgia program and what they look like is normally what Alabama looks like year out in. Just a well-oiled machine where you just got too many 4-stars and 5-stars. You just roll them out there, and you just kind of pick up where the last team left off. Rather, there's max exited in the offseason, transfer portal, draft, whatever you want to name. Next year, they're just going to keep that old machine running at a high clip. And to me, Bama just hasn't looked that way. Even if you look to last year, losing to A&M, obviously almost losing to Auburn in that game, and LSU, a bad LSU team, only beating that team by 6 points. And
Arkansas played them tough.
Yeah, Florida on the road, they lose by 1 point in that game.
Had a 2-point conversion because they missed an extra point.
Yeah, so it's just not the dominance that we've seen, over the past few years or with this football team. And so I think, for Saban, sometimes it's hard to keep that voice year in and year out and year in and year out. And then you see the talent level kind of, to me, take a dip. I know people are saying, yeah, well, they got this 4-star and they got this 5-star, but all 4-stars and 5-stars aren't created equally. And to me, you can just kind of see that, especially at the receiver position in this game. She was just matching up with those guys one-on-one, not really double-teaming anyone. And to me, they just really a receiver didn't really strike any fear in me. I was like, okay, we got to double that guy. Hey, whoa, worry. Like, Corey Brooks, whoever you want to name, it just didn't feel that way. And to see their, two most advertised players, on their defense, and Turner and Anderson, those guys really not light the game on fire. It's hard to see that avenue for them being the kind of Alabama we've seen in the past. And to me, it's, you do have Bryce, but, the rest of that football team, and you got to give credit to Gibbs as well, too. But the rest of that football team isn't as complete as we've seen in the past, and even going back to last year. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of teams play them a lot closer than we've seen in the past.
They simply have not been a dominant football team for 2 years now. They just haven't. They're good. They're very good. They're one of the 10 best teams in the country. They're probably one of the best 5 teams in the country. But they used to be so dominant, so intimidating. And week in and week out, this is not like, they have a couple. This is every time they go on the road, they're in a dogfight. Unless they're playing Mississippi State, they're on the ropes. And they have Bryce Young is incredible. And he's the only reason they won in Austin. And he kept them right in this game, even though he was a little bit inaccurate and was, kind of under some pressure at times. Gibbs is sensational. Anderson's going to be the first pick in the draft. Turner's a freak athlete. They've got really good players. They're a good team. but they used to just be light years better than just about anybody in the SEC. And they're just not right now. They're just really good, which by their standard, what Saban created is not good enough. And it's interesting to see, but this is not like a cup. This is every time they go on the road. Auburn, Alabama, College Station, Texas, Gainesville, Florida, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Every time they go on the road, it's a tight game in the fourth quarter. That was not the case for an 8-year run.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't matter where they went, whether it's a neutral site game, they come to your house and just kind of see what they do to Tennessee for the past decade. It's just never been close, and they've just kind of just ransacked the entire SEC West, and you really kind of just pencil them in to start the season. And I think now people are starting to see, like, we can get after these guys. It's not the same fear that you had going into a game where you feel like you have to play perfect. Then you could do. They're going to probably be up by 3 scores, and it's just, Saban's over there coaching, and it's just you just haven't seen that to the level that they played through the past 2 seasons. And I know a lot of people are, Feinbaum's going to be interesting to listen to this week because there's probably some unhappy people.
I've already got my DVR set. About to start in 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's going to be some unhappy campers coming from the state of Alabama right now. But that's just what this program is. And I'm not sure if there's a short fix, especially with the portal being as vital as it is. It's hard to see them kind of switching this thing around and just being the Bama we've seen in the past, especially with Saban getting older by the year, which is great. Go Saban.
That's a look back at LSU and Alabama. We got some more to talk about in the second hour. We'll start with our SEC picks from the weekend, get you ready for Saints and Ravens as well. Opening hour each and every Monday, brought to you by The Shed Barbecue. SportsCenter's coming up. We'll see you on the other side. It's Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. One day after the Colts offense struggled yet again, the team fired coach Frank Reich. Indy's dropped 3 in a row, is 3-5-1 on the season. One of the biggest issues for Reich throughout his nearly 5-year Colts tenure, the inability to find a successor following franchise quarterback Andrew Luck's retirement in 2019. Reich's dismissal, a shock to Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin.
I know they're not doing well right now, but Frank's a hell of a coach. And I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you Frank will be on the short list to get a job again real soon. I thought he had compiled a pretty good team there. The only thing, Ryan, that I didn't like is how they kept going to the well, trying to rekindle a fire in all these old guys at quarterback.
Among those veterans in Indy's QB carousel, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, former Colts center and ESPN analyst Jeff Saturday named Colts interim coach. Giants safety Xavier McKinney injured his hand in an ATV accident while on vacation in Cabo during the bye week. He's expected to miss several weeks. NBA, Brooklyn's Ben Simmons says he'll return from knee soreness tonight against Dallas. He's been out the last 4 games.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
1, 2, 3. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hour 2 on a Monday. Let's say I hope your Monday's going well, but I'm assuming it's going pretty well as Mondays go down here in South Louisiana. Big weekend for the purple and gold, black and gold in action tonight. We'll talk Saints coming up at 2:30. But I want to go back to look at the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference here. And we'll start with our gambling picks, and then we'll go back into the game. But I just want y'all to know how impressive a gambling prognosticator I am. We started with the Kentucky-Missouri game. It was a pick 'em. I took Missouri. Had Florida A&M. I said, yeah, Know take A&M laying the 3 points at home. Tennessee at Georgia. I said, look, Vegas whiffed on this one. I know a lot more than Vegas. There's no chance this is an 8-point spread. Tennessee's better. They ought to be favored. They'll win that game. By a touchdown at least. Okay. Then we had Auburn and State. Said, Mississippi State crushes bad teams. 12.5 is the number. They'll cover that with ease. And then Vanderbilt played a football game, and I decided to make a pick on it. I'm 0 for 150 on Vanderbilt games. I took Vanderbilt, catching 6.5. I did nail the Liberty pick, though.
Yeah.
So we'll take that. But every other game, I lost. So as we look back at the standings, I was 1-5 on the week. You were 3-3. We are now deadlocked for the season, 30-34-1.
Doing that handy-dandy Les Miles clap.
You
right
proud
now,
of that?
You're covering ground. No, I don't like that. Like my man Kirk Cousins, I don't like that. But hey, we're fighting. We're fighting. Small chance to get above 500. But yeah, just a wacky weekend in the SEC. I think the biggest shocker to me is Liberty beating Arkansas on the road and really them shutting down Sanders, 17 carries for 60 yards. And
yeah, that's pitiful.
against that Liberty defense, you got to give Hugh Freeze credit, man. He may be, tweeting the Bible verses out, but he's winning some games on Saturday. So you got to give him the credit. But, yeah, I think out of all the games, that's the one that kind of shocked me the most a little bit there.
Yeah, it was a tough spot there. Liberty's a good football team. If you're Arkansas, LSU's on the other side of it. It's just they just didn't play very well. And the general consensus, as I'm reading through like Arkansas message boards and stuff, is that KJ Jefferson's just not himself. He's hurt. He's guarding against getting hurt worse, and he's not being the battering ram that we know that he can be. He's still not making like bad decisions. He's just not as effective as he was last year and earlier in this season. We'll see if he continues to go out there and practice and continues to go out there and play, or if they decide to go to the backup. But they did not have it against Liberty. Florida A&M was, I said on Friday, take the over because I think these two teams on defense are so bad they're going to give up big plays in the run game, and they did. I mean, it was just back and forth. Nobody was punting in the first half, 17-17, and then all of a sudden A&M just goes in the deep freeze, and Florida continues to just hammer away. And I think I tweeted this out on Saturday if you saw it, but you know my feelings on A&M to this point. I love to hate him. It's fine. I felt legitimately bad for Haynes King. He's out there. He wasn't even supposed to play. And then the whole team gets the flu, including Wigman, so he has to play. Mm-hmm. So he goes out there. Florida is teeing off on him like third-grade kids hitting a piñata at a birthday party. I mean, every drop back, he is getting absolutely waylaid. And he gets up and, like, limps off. I felt terrible for the kid. They couldn't block anybody. They had to throw it on every down because they were down 17 points. He got stripped 2 possessions in a row because they were hitting him so hard. It was brutal to watch.
It's great play calling by Jimbo, man. Look, Jimbo, you don't need to change anything. You've been calling plays your whole life. Early 2000s, just dialing it up. Keep dialing up. We don't need any new offensive coordinators coming into town. It's just a great job with my man Jimbo's doing. And Haynes, it's a tough spot for him. To, A-Chain run the ball. I think you got to give A-Chain a lot more credit this year, losing Spiller and him kind of taking over the ropes. He's been having, a lot of success, and they just really haven't been able to get him the ball as much as they need to because they're down so much. And, missing all those players that they did in that game, I think that hurt a ton against kind of a 2-4 in the SEC Florida team, which is just not great. It's just not the A&M that the Texac faithful wanted to see Saturday. I saw 2 of the Yale leaders like crying on each other's shoulder at the game. That just wasn't a great look. Just tough times. Losing recruits, decommitting on the sideline. Yeah. Bad times for the Aggies, man. Bad times.
At one point, apparently they had 7 true freshmen on the field on defense at one time. That's how down to the studs they were over there with the injuries they've had and then with the flu wiping out 20 guys for Saturday. If y'all wonder why I go to the message boards and why I spend time there when I could be like contributing to society in some way, this is why. I'll read you a couple of posts from TexAgs here, as they've just had a decommitment from the number 1 player in their signing class, a 5-star from Texas, who, by the way, it wasn't like he went somewhere for another visit and they kind of wooed him so he decommitted. He went to College Station this past weekend and 2 days later decommitted. That's not great. So here's a post from TexAgs. Jimbo is literally running this thing into the ground. Hard to recover from a season like this. Here's the next post. This ship is going down, and the clown in charge is 100% to blame. Kick his stubborn has-been ass back to West Virginia. That's why I get on the TexAgs. That's why, like, I just it fuels my soul to see the misery. It's a wonderful thing, and they are in a world of hurt. They've lost 5 in a row for the first time since 1980 over there in College Station. So things not going so hot. I guess we've kind of buried the lead here. Georgia with just an absolute throttling of the Vols. And I will say this, and Hendon Hooker had a press conference or media availability of some sort today and alluded to this. He had some shot plays down the field, and he missed them. 2 touchdowns he missed in the first half. And, of course, remember, he makes the 1-shot play against us where the guy's got a step and a half, and he lays it in there, and the guy makes a diving catch. And he was hitting the shot plays against Alabama, most of them to Hyatt. It's just he just missed a couple. And when you're on the road playing a team as good as Georgia, you've got to hit them. And Joe did not miss in Tuscaloosa in 2019. He when he fired, he hit. And Hendon Hooker did not make the plays. And therefore, I think Stetson Bennett's got a chance to win the Heisman Trophy now, and Hendon Hooker's kind of feels a long way away from it.
Yeah, to me, I think for Heupel, just too many run plays. And to see – them hold that rushing attack. We just saw what that rushing attack did in Death Valley. Not saying they got the Georgia 5-stars everywhere, 85 scholarship guys like Georgia has, but to go for 2.2 yards a carry, which I said that's the worst defense to try to get your run game going. Hooker couldn't use his legs at all, taking all the sacks, and then no running game at all to really point to. You have to make those throws. And, they were running a lot of man-to-man coverage. I think having Tillman would have helped out a ton in this game. But that was kind of the blueprint that you had to see to kind of slow down that hyper offense. They shut their run game down, really made Hooker make some tough throws, got after him in the rush game, and then put all the pressure in the world on the road to make those deep throws that we've kind of seen him make all season long. He just wasn't able to do that. So I think the Dogs are kind of showing that they're kind of the new Bama of the SEC, where year in and year out, it's going to be very difficult to keep them out of Atlanta. And if they're getting to Atlanta, they're probably going to the playoff. And so you got to tip your cap to Kirby, what he's done with that football program, because a lot of people, including myself, was picking Tennessee to win that game. And that was a great spot for them to kind of regain that number one spot in the country.
Vols are very much not done. You look at the rankings with the shakeups they had, that loss is really going to hurt Clemson. They looked awful in doing it. They've kind of been uneven all year, and everybody was saying, yeah, they're undefeated, but they don't look that great. Well, now they've got an embarrassing loss to Notre Dame, so that's huge for them. Alabama is now significantly behind Tennessee, so you feel like you've dodged a little bit of a bullet there. Even though you did beat them on your home field, you feel like you've got a real chance there. And LSU is far from a sure thing to get in the playoffs. So you're starting to chip away at some teams. Do you trust that TCU is going to win out? Do you think that that Oregon loss back in September is going to be amplified by the committee? You certainly showed a little more fight than Oregon did against Georgia. You figure one of the Big Ten teams will knock themselves out with a Michigan-Ohio State game. So Tennessee's right there in the mix. They would do well if they were to be very impressive in winning their last couple of games. Missouri at South Carolina at Vanderbilt. You can go out there and just absolutely destroy them. You put your resume up there. I think they're in okay shape. It's not super comfortable, but they're in okay shape.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this avenue before with the SEC and two teams get in there. So the blueprint is there. You could get a little help, but I just know how it is. It's going to have to be Michigan or Ohio State getting upset at some point, and then, probably some more help down the line. But I think if you do have an undefeated TCU, and then obviously the Big Ten winner is undefeated, they did get a break with Clemson losing, but it's just very, very difficult for a one-loss conference championship team to kind of get the nod, over a one-loss SEC team, especially with that win. Who knows? Bama may end up with 3 losses. That Bama win may not look as good by the end of the season. So we'll see how it plays out, but the avenue for them to make it is still there because we've seen it before.
Tennessee did catch a little bit of a break here because of the way they played. Getting the crossover game with LSU as opposed to Mississippi State or A&M, it wouldn't look very good. Your LSU win all of a sudden looks very good. You were totally impressive in that game, start to finish, dominated at Tiger Stadium. That's going to be a feather in their cap come time to decide who's in the playoff. But they got to take care of their business the rest of the way. Looking at Auburn and Mississippi State, huge credit to Cadillac Williams and Auburn for playing hard. They don't have to. They're not very good. Their coach got fired. They cleaned out half the staff. Cadillac Williams is pretty moving. When I tweeted about this yesterday as well, but his speech to the team after the game, it's like, look, we're gonna keep swinging. We're gonna keep fighting because you came to Auburn and we're part of the Auburn family. And we're gonna keep fighting, and that's admirable that he's got those guys playing really hard. Ed Ogeron got his LSU guys to play pretty hard late last year and win that Texas A&M game. Played really hard against Alabama as well. It's easy to quit, and they haven't done that. Mississippi State, I thought, would take care of business because they usually do against bad teams, but Auburn was able to score with them.
Yeah, and I think you got to give credit to Ashford, where he's kind of seen some spots in this year where he just does not have that team competitive at all, but he's an electric athlete, and I think in that Mississippi State game, he put that on full display, getting that team back in the game. And sometimes we've kind of seen with college football, get the Auburn guy, get the Nebraska guy. I think Cadillac fits that mold of a true Auburn guy who really cares about that program. I don't know if they're the Eagles or the Tigers, the Tiger Cats. I don't know what they are at this point, but to see them kind of be competitive in that game on the road was impressive. I don't know if they're going to get any more wins this season. Maybe an Iron Bowl win. That'd be pretty cool to see, but we'll see what they do. But I think Cadillac's doing a lot better job than what we've kind of seen from the Harsin era.
Talk NFL next. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill. Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Saints and Ravens tonight. We will talk about it coming up at 2:30. Full slate of National Football League action yesterday. It impressive outing by the Bengals. Joe Mixon goes for 5 touchdowns. I believe he had 42 fantasy points in the first half. Just absolutely destroyed the Panthers. But Terrace Marshall had a nice little jump ball touchdown late in that game. But Bengals, after a tough one 2 weeks ago, shows just kind of a week-to-week league, come out and put an impressive effort out against the Panthers. Really, a lot of it was on the ground.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think has been ailing this offense for most of the season. And you saw that on full display in this football game when you can get the run game going and put so much pressure on the defense not to fly off field and, kind of put Jonah in those situations where he has to pass protect time and time again. Let those guys fire off the ball, mix the play action in there. This is an offense without Jamar Chase, but, when you got a running back doing the thing he's doing on the ground in the air, it takes so much pressure off your quarterback to go out there and, have to deliver you from evil time and time again. And so I think for Coach Zach Taylor and the rest of the staff, they're going to want to continue to kind of see if they can get Mixon going to this level. You eventually get Jamar back, and if you got a running back doing that on any given Sunday and all those receivers on the outside, and we know what we feel about the quarterback, that's kind of the offense that kind of got to the Super Bowl last year, and I think that's what they're trying to get back to.
Rams gave the Bucs one there. Absolutely gave it away. Had every opportunity to win that game and just gave it to I think it's a little bit tired and a little bit lazy whenever you just go, prevent defense. I mean, you got to have some level of they just, it was too easy. I kept trying to come up with a word there.
Yeah.
The Rams just let Brady sit there and go right down the field in the last 30 seconds of the game. That was pathetic on defense.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Michael Jordan has the ball in his hands and the clock's ticking down. It's like a lot of people just freeze up. It's like, what do we do? Do we trap him? Do we not trap him? Do we blitz Tom? Do we not blitz? Do we drop everyone? And he's seen it all. So he's just so comfortable in those situations. And, if there's time left on the clock, he's going to do everything in his power, to get his team in position to win that game. And obviously we just saw Scotty Miller drop the touchdown pass. He shouldn't have even been in that situation to begin with. But this is just not the same Rams team from last year. And you kind of just see this team really fizzle out way quicker than you see a team that just made it to the Super Bowl. And like you said, I don't know why Jalen Ramsey doesn't travel with the best receiver. I don't want, my third corner trying to guard Mike Evans in any situation. But, that's what the Rams decided to do. And obviously Tom took advantage of that, got the big pass interference call, and, just win the game with everything on the line. And to see them back in first place, like I said, unless they're mathematically eliminated, probably not picking against those guys.
4-5 is Tampa. The Rams fall to 3-5 on the season. So that was the biggest of note to Saints fans. It just, you feel like when the Rams got that stop with 1:40 to go, got the ball back, you figure they could run it out, and they couldn't do it. And Tom just went right down the field on them in 45 seconds. So that was very, very poor. I thought maybe we're getting close to the end of the road here with the Packers. I mean, you go to Detroit, to a 1-6 Detroit team, and your Aaron Rodgers offense puts up 9 points. I mean, that's atrocious.
Yeah, and you see my boy Lil Wayne jumping off the bandwagon of Aaron Rodgers, saying the Pack should have got rid of him. Now, let's go Pack, go himself. My boy Lil Wayne, he's not happy with what he's seen from the Pack. So I don't think anyone's happy. You kind of saw their GM trying to make moves at the deadline. I don't know if Claypool would have moved the needle. Saw they were trying to get Waller, but that offense just stinks, man. And I think anytime you got a quarterback you're paying just about $50 million to, he's got to have to, take, majority of the credit when you win, but also you got to take a huge brunt of that when you lose, no matter who's the receivers on the outside. And that offense is just really struggling. We just talked about how bad the Lions were. So to lose to that team who's in last place in the NFC North, it's just very, very bad for the Packers. And I think they're very, very close to be, mathematically eliminated. And for a team that's gone just about 13-3, every year with this new head coach, and to be where they are now, I don't think anyone predicted that in Packers Nation. They just have not been playing well.
Did you watch the end of the Packers-Lions game?
I saw the end. Rodgers tried to throw a deep pass, and it was incomplete.
But his last, 4 throws of the game, he's on his back foot, and almost 3/4 just flipped it in the air down the field. It looked like he was trying to throw a Frisbee to a dog, basically. He's a little different, and he's incredibly talented. And so I think if I were to sit here and say he's not really trying, I think that would be a stupid thing to say. But it doesn't look like a full effort to me. Now, he's so talented that a lot of things he does look effortless because he's such a great talent throwing the ball. But, it didn't look like a guy who was locked in and engaged to me. It looked like a guy who was taking the snap and just flipping it up there because there was a guy down there. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, when you're kind of blessed with the arm talent that Aaron Rodgers is, you're going to see a lot of back shoulder throws. You're going to see a lot of throws off the back leg. You're going to see a lot of throws where he's rolling right, throwing left across his body and shooting those fadeaways. I mean, he practiced these throws in camp. So he's got to go out there and try them in a game. But when you don't have the receivers creating the separation that you've had in the past, obviously Devontae Adams, we saw what he did yesterday. You don't have that true number one receiver, and teams are putting their 2 and 3 corners on your best guys, and your best guys just aren't good enough. So it just puts so much pressure on a quarterback to be laser sharp, putting the ball exactly where it needs to be. These guys who really aren't number 1 and number 2 receivers, not dropping passes. And really it's just not been the same for what we've kind of seen over these past 2 years. And I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
You buying the Justin Fields hype? They lost, but he ran for 178 yards, most ever by a quarterback.
I mean, I told you, he's playing a little
better.
Chicago
is liking him.
Yeah.
They're starting to get on the Fields bandwagon.
Yeah, I told you that last week. I'm like, he's playing better. And I think that's something that you really, couldn't have predicted, especially to start his career. Just very, very bad. Just a lot of 100-yard passing performances for him. But to me, it's all about scoring points. Doesn't really matter how you get there. When he's moving the ball with his legs the way he is, you don't have to keep making these throws time and time again down the field. They did get Claypool. That was, to me, a pass interference in that game. He literally got tackled down, from behind. I know Bears fans probably not happy about that. I'm not a big Bears Twitter guy, but I'm sure
they're mad about it, but they don't care because they think they have a quarterback. They're like, this team's not that good. We just traded our 2 best defensive players. Who really cares? We're trying to get a bunch of draft picks, but our QB's running all over the place, so this is great. So that's where the Bears are.
A little Aggie logic going on up in Chicago right now. We got the generational quarterback, guys. It doesn't matter that we got 3 wins this season.
Yeah, that was off the air. I told you that. I did hear an A&M fan say Saturday that Connor Wigman is a generational quarterback. Why don't we calm down? He's thrown the ball like 30 times in a college uniform. So let's just pump the brakes a touch there. Last one, Chiefs in the night game win against Tennessee in overtime, 20-17. Derrick Henry goes for 115 yards on just 17 carries, did score twice. Mahomes threw the ball 68 times.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, Vrabel gives me a Les Miles flavor to him where, they're going to run the ball down your throat as much as they humanly can. They're going to play tough defense. They're going to rush forward, try to get after your passer. And they're just going to play ugly football and see if they can beat you to a victory. So watching that game, it's just a lot of ugly football. And anytime Mahomes dropping back like that, he didn't do it with his arms in this game. He pulled the ball down, and you can kind of see he's a lot more healthy than he was last year because now the legs are back active. He's scrambling, converting 3rd and 17s and running in touchdowns, running in 2-point conversion, and he's doing what he can do with his arm. It's just very, very difficult to deal with. So the Titans are a lot more competitive than I thought they would be in this game. But when you're dealing with the Magic Man, he's going to make magic plays, and that's what he did to get this and will this team to a victory.
He will do it. That is for sure. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Excited to see pro hockey coming back to the Raising Cane's River Center this winter. Tickets start at $10 for the games at Ticketmaster.com for the Raising Cane's River Center box office. Keep listening for your chance to win and sign up at 1045ESPN.com. We'll come back. Saints and Ravens, Monday Night Football. We're talking about it. It's Hunt and Hill.
1045 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Reliable roofing and construction, reliableroofing.br.com.
Yeah, so I have to tell you guys about Reliable Roofing, a family-run, owned, and operated residential roofing company. They've been in business since 2008 with over 30 years of roofing experience.
A lot of people dealing with the fact their insurance carriers are not renewing their coverage because they're moving out of the state. A lot of carriers moving out of Louisiana. If that's the case with you, you need a new carrier on your home for your homeowner's insurance and your roof doesn't meet their standards, let Reliable Roofing come. They will do the inspection for you. They will come in and do the repairs if need be, or they'll get you a roof replacement if that's what the duty calls for. Reliable Roofing and Construction, run by Lionel Hayes, who is from Baton Rouge, has lived in Baton Rouge his entire life. Not somebody that's just flying in to make a quick buck on a storm and get out of here. No. He's been here for his entire life, and he's going to visit every single site that his teams work on at Reliable Roofing and Construction. Go to the website, reliableroofing.br.com, and check out all the pictures there before and after work. They're really proud of it, as they should be, at Reliable Roofing and Construction. That website, again, reliableroofing.br.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at gocatch.com. That's GEAUX catch.com.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We're recapping LSU Bama and setting the table for Monday Night Football, Saints and Ravens. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
7:15, the kickoff time tonight inside the Caesars Superdome. Saints and Ravens. I would say it's a big game for the Saints, but they're all big games for the Saints at this point as they look to try to keep pace with Tampa and Atlanta. And those are the teams right there at the top of the division, which is pathetic to say out loud. Ravens have won 3 of their last 4. They come into this game with a record of 5-3. They've played a lot of close football games. There was a 5-point game with the Bucs last week, 3-point game with the Browns the week before that, 4-point loss to the Giants. They played Joe and the Bengals and beat them by 2. Played Buffalo, lost that game by only 3 points. They played a game against the Dolphins that they were leading by 20, ended up losing that game by 4 points. So played a lot of close football, as most teams in the league have, but we know how talented that their quarterback is, and we know that's given the Saints real problems over the last couple of years with Dennis Allen calling that defense.
Yeah, that's the red dot like we talk about. You go on that Wednesday morning meeting, and every team kind of has a player you put that red dot on. You got to have eyes on this guy at all times. Lamar's that guy because he can light you on fire with his legs. He's so electric. He can hit us out on the goalpost from any spot on that field. And once he gets going with the passing, it's kind of like JD5 a little bit. Once he kind of gets that momentum and gets that comfort in the game, he can make accurate throws down the football field. So for this Saints defense who, should have got a huge, vote of confidence. I know it's not probably saying much with the Raiders team who just lost to Jacksonville.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not very good. But, sometimes you just need little things to get you going. And I think anytime you get a shutout in the NFL, it's absolutely impressive. And so you got to build on that. Obviously, health, I think, is one in this one. I would love to have Lattimore out there. But Don't know how that's going to go for them. So I think this is another spot for the D-line to really step up like they did last week and have some guys who really, are high picks in the draft really kind of step up and play huge, because that's what you're going to need to slow down this Ravens running attack and kind of keep Lamar at bay from not lighting you on fire with his legs.
Look, Lamar is the leading rusher for the Ravens. Now, part of that is because he's a dynamic runner that we know. Part of it is they've dealt with a lot of injuries at running back, and they've had a lot of different guys shuffling through. It doesn't sound like Gus Edwards is going to play tonight for him. Kenyon Drake, I think, is available in the game. So I think that's who you're going to see. J.K. Dobbins got hurt, so he's been out. Like they haven't had a consistent running back presence, but Lamar has been that for them. What concerns you outside of Lamar Jackson? Duvernay's made some plays for him. I'm familiar with him from his play in 2019 over there at Texas. Mark Andrews is out, so it's a couple banged up teams.
Yeah, normally it would be Mark Andrews. You would have to take away Lamar's first option, but without that being as viable, and then also miss another receiver for the year, it's a secondary who I think can match up with these guys on the outside. Anytime you look at Paulson Adebo and Taylor, what he's been doing in their young career, you feel like you have that matchup, and so now you can put more resources, to trying to contain Lamar. No, they don't have a Harold Perkins that could spy Lamar matching athletic-wise, but that's something that
we get him for 2 more years.
Yeah, you definitely do. So that's something the Saints could definitely use in a game like this, where you can kind of match your cornerbacks outside one-on-one, not really have to worry about a guy like Jets or Jamar hitting their head on the goalpost from anywhere with some of the receivers that they have. I think the biggest priority of this game is really not going to be, weapons on the outside for the Saints. It's really going to be trying to contain this rushing attack and contain Lamar with his legs. If you can do that, you give yourself a great chance of winning.
Hopefully the Saints can continue some of the positive things they've been doing on offense. They've kind of found their way a little bit more. It could have been better against the Raiders, but your defense pitched a shutout, but did score 24 points in that game. They got the ball moving against Arizona as well. They did a pretty good job against Cincinnati of moving the football with Andy Dalton, scored 39 points against a bad Seahawks defense. So it's been a little bit better than the total dysfunction that I observed in the first couple of weeks. I think the more you can get Kamara involved, the better. And Olave's kind of blossomed into a number one. You didn't necessarily draft him to be a number one, but he's kind of turned into that.
No, he definitely is. And I think, it's a lot of offensive rookies. I think, my boy up there with the Jets, I can't even think of his name. Is it Hall, I think his name was? He's out
Breece Hall, yeah.
Breece Hall, yeah. Breece Hall, he was in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, but I think Olave is right there in the thick of it because he's just playing extremely well. And you think he would have the leadership of, Michael Thomas kind of leading the way. You kind of know what happened with that situation. Jarvis in and out of the lineup all season long. He's really took that lead and kind of been that threat you have to really pay attention to week in and week out. Such a phenomenal route runner, and what you don't give him credit for is his hands. He's caught a lot of contested passes this season and done that at a high clip. And so I think in a game like this, you got to get Olave going, mix that heavy play action with Kamara, and then try to find him down the field when he's matched up one-on-one, because he's definitely been playing extremely well just for a rookie.
You go back and you log in your head what the Saints have done against mobile quarterbacks. We know the 2 years of Jalen Hurts, it's been trouble. We know that the Falcons really moved the football consistently in the opener this year with Marcus Mariota, a lot of read option stuff, a lot of getting to the edges. Kyler Murray was okay. You really shot yourself in the foot with the pick sixes in that game, more so than not being able to stop the Cardinals at all. But this is probably the most dynamic running option in the NFL. Kyler's a little bit of a different guy because he's so quick, and we saw what Justin Fields did yesterday, so you don't want to discount him. But Lamar is a home run hitter at the quarterback spot, and that's not something you can see all that often. So you were mentioning they don't really have like Harold Perkins. Well, that person doesn't really exist in the NFL, but like DeMario's not that guy. He's between the tackles and want to hit you. Like, you got your defensive ends are big, physical, strong guys. Hopefully they can rush the passer. They rushed the passer against Derek Carr great last week, but you got to get home if you do that.
No, you definitely do. It's kind of the same thing I talked about going into this Alabama game. Anytime you got edge rushers who want to look at the end of the season and see double-digit sacks next to their name, and they want to get put in the papers for all the sacks and tackles for losses they're getting, you're giving up rush lanes. And you saw JD5 take huge advantage of that in this game, especially late in that game when those guys are tired of rushing and they're getting out of their rush lanes. You got to let your quarterback. They can gash you. So I think the Saints kind of fall into that same mold where you got Cam Jordan coming off the edge, you got Davenport coming off the edge, you got some of these other guys that want to really rush the passer. You slip out of one rush lane, there's no one going to be there, especially especially with all the man-to-man coverage that the Saints secondary runs on play-to-play. And so unless you're spying guy, like I don't even know who you spy. I don't like Marcus May in space against him. Like Tyron, it's not the Tyron of old. So I don't know. It's going to be an intriguing matchup to see kind of how Dylan Allen's in this defense tries to contain him, especially when you got a defensive line that really wants to get after the passer.
And it's less about the 30-yard touchdown run or the 75-yard run or whatever. It's more about 3rd and 7, we dial something up, he runs for 8. And they keep the chains moving. It's I mean, sometimes Lamar Jackson can get loose and go for 60. He's plenty capable of that, but it's not very often that happens. It is very often that he picks up a 3rd and 4 with his legs because you just couldn't quite get there. Jaden Daniels is the same type of way. And it's just it's so frustrating because you can call a defense and execute it, and you can beat somebody on a pass rush, and you can cover everything up and disguise your looks. But if he just beats you to the edge and gets 5 yards, like go line up again. Like it's so frustrating. It's demoralizing. And again, it's what Jaden Daniels can do to you too.
No, it is, and I think for a lot of coaches, and we talked about dealing with Bryce Young, we both were like sick to our stomach, probably threw up if we could in that situation.
I don't have to see him anymore.
Yeah, so when you have a quarterback that can, when you dial it up, okay, we're getting pressure, they're back there. All right, made him miss. All right, made him miss. You can't practice that. You can go through practice 3 weeks in a row, get 2 bye weeks going into a game. Certain things you just can't prepare for, and until you get on the field with Lamar and actually see how fast he is, see how electric he is, and every play is going to be slightly different depending on the route scheme and how they get to the passer. You can't draw that stuff up in the film room, and so he's got to have those plays. You can't stop it. You just got to hope you really can contain it to a level where it's not really killing you in the football game, and he continues to kind of drive the ball down the field and get 7 out of it. You got to make this team best kicker in football. That's another thing they got to their advantage. But you got to make that guy come on the field and make him get 3 points.
The Ravens do sit atop the AFC North right now at 5-3. The Bengals are sitting there at 5-4. So a win, they would have a full game lead on Cincinnati. As far as the Saints go, they are half a game behind Tampa and Atlanta. Both of those teams are 4-5. The Saints are 3-5. With a win, they would tie for the lead in the NFC South. They thought they were going to get a little bit of help from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With the Rams, they did not. Tampa goes and steals that one. So Saints will have to keep pace with a win tonight. I'm sure the Dome will be absolutely rocking tonight for a primetime game. And we'll see if the Houdats can bring it home. We'll take a break, come back, and finish up a Monday edition of Hunt and Hill.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
We get it done with passion for our fans
and love for our community.
We are the Tigers.
Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers.
Join me, Jimmy Ott, and Charles Handegriff live from City Slice Pints and Pizza, recapping LSU and Bama, and looking forward to the Saints Monday Night Football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers at City Slice, 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I got some sources over in the 337 that tell me that Tiger Woods is in Kinder, Louisiana right now. Charlie's playing in a tournament over at Casati Pines, and Tiger's out there caddying.
Caddying in Louisiana in November. Interesting. I
He's
guess
got a cart.
Okay, I was about to say you better, but yeah, great thing for the state. Everything's just going right for the state right now. Beating Bama, Tiger in town. Yeah, great times for Louisiana.
So happy we beat them. It just makes everything so much better. Just years of pain, disappointment, year after year. I mean, you list off the years. Like in 2011, they crush your heart at the end. In 2012, the payback game, think you've got it licked, and they hit Yeldon for the screen pass. Got Leonard going into Tuscaloosa undefeated. Boom. Joe's first year. You think he got a really good team in 18. You can't even score a point on him. Yeah, you were nothing 2 years before that. I guess that was 16. It was 0-0 going to the fourth quarter. You let Jalen Hurst get loose and run him for a touchdown. Just pain and pain and pain. And finally, you lifted that at home for the first time since 2010. 12 years between. It just makes it's different beating those guys.
What goes around comes around. It's going to be so marvelous listening to Feinbaum today. The chat lets me know it's a lot of pain and suffering coming from the state of Alabama.
Paul,
which
game's passed him by, Paul.
Yeah, that's probably a lot.
You got to get Lane Kiffin, Paul.
Sometimes they want Dabo. They want the Bama guy coming in there.
Dabo got dusted by Notre Dame, who lost to Marshall.
Yeah, who knows what they're going to look. It's going to be tough times for them. They've been on their little high horse. I mean, who couldn't be with the dominance they've had? But things go the other way.
That fall is going to be something. I'm not forecasting it right this very second, but eventually it will happen, and it is going to be some quality stuff.
Oh, they're not. I don't know if they're going to handle. Do they have the mental fortitude to handle what we just dealt with in Baton Rouge the past 2 seasons?
It's going to happen one day.
I don't know if they're going to be able to handle that. Kelly has this thing rolling like, the horizon's looking good.
The video of Bregman after the World Series?
No, I didn't. I saw Kate Upton though. She looked pretty good.
So Bregman's on the field. He's got his World Series shirt on. It's on Twitter, and somebody says, "Hey, LSU beat Bama." He's like, "No." Are you serious? LSU beat Bama? And he's like starts clapping and laughing. Very festive day for Bregman as his Astros won the World Series. Bummer for Aaron Nola and the crew, but Bregman gets his second World Series win with the Stros as they knock off the Phillies in 6. All right, let's play some Take It or Leave It.
All right, here. Doing a 35-14 loss, Clemson allowed a touchdown while on offense, defense, and special teams, with Dabo saying it was the first time that's happened since he became the head coach at Clemson, and he takes full responsibility. Are you taking or leaving? The Clemson championship window has closed.
I'll leave it. They still recruited at a pretty high level, but they're not what they were for that 3 or 4 year run. And look, you don't just grab the next Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence. Like, those guys are special players, and I think Cade Klubnik's got a chance to be really, really good, and DJU just hasn't reached that level. So that's hard to get. They're still winning a lot of games. It's just, you gotta win them all, more likely than not. So Clemson, it's not closed, but they're not what they were. They got some work to do for sure. After the loss on the road to LSU, Josh Pate says that Alabama may be cleaning house with the coaching staff here. Saban, cleaning out the shelves, getting a new coaching staff. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it, and it's not probably for the reason everyone else think. I think someone's probably going to hire Billy O. I'm sure Saban's not happy. I mean, when I think about it, it's just he can't keep a coaching staff together for 2 years, and like you eventually think
it's
that
this Nick Saban coaching rehab plan. Just get him in, get him out.
Yeah, so you think that's going to eventually catch up to him, and we just saw Ed O kind of go through that whole thing where you had a phenomenal staff put together in 2019, and you try to put those puzzle pieces in there, and sometimes they just don't hit. And I think for this staff to really kind of not give Gibbs the ball enough. That guy should have had 30 touches in this football game. Like, he was a problem, and just drop back and pass the amount of times you did when you know that offensive line is struggling. I think they kind of did that offense a disservice, even without the weapons on the outside. So I think there's going to be some coaches taking some jobs, and I think Nick's not going to be happy with some of the positions, just the way they're executing with all these 5 stars and 4 stars that they have. So talented Alabama team. Yeah, I think you'll see a new coaching staff going in the next season. All right, you'll love this one here. After being up 24-6 at halftime, Mike Leach was not happy with his football team by allowing Auburn to tie the game and head into overtime. Mike Leach folded all the benches on the seat, didn't allow players to sit down on the sideline. Are you taking or leaving head coaches not allowing players to sit down because of bad play?
I'll take it. I thought it was hilarious. If you haven't seen this video, Mike Leach literally is walking around the bench area, folding up all the chairs and dropping them on the ground so that his players can't sit down during the game. He is a little cranky right now with Mississippi State. His press conferences are a little surly. He's talking about fat little girlfriends again, eating the fish sandwich and drinking lemonade with your fat little girlfriend. He's back on one of those kicks. Mike's not happy, but they did get the win. So,
they win,
when you get a win in Starkville, you take the win. There's no, you don't elaborate. You just take a win. And so Mike needs to calm down, I think.
Like, I think it's hard to be upset with Mike Leach. He's the old goober who's just set in his ways. Yeah. He's not going to change at all. He's going to call his 6 little football plays and try to dial you up, and he's going to have some good stuff to say. I love his wedding take. Like, I'm sure Hunt can relate to this. Like, who cares about weddings? It's just a waste of time for the guy. Just wife's going to get everything she wants, and you just probably need to shut up. So it's the Leach way, man. You got to love you some Leach.
I get married all the time. It's just what it is. All right, last one. The Nets have won their last 2 with without Ben Simmons in the lineup. He's going to play against the Mavs tonight. Nets need to trade Ben Simmons. Take it or leave it.
I will leave that, I guess, because I don't think they're going to get anything for him. And, unless you're giving up a second-round pick, some G League guys, he's not the same guy. And I think anytime you're coming off a back injury, 2 back surgeries, and knee injury right now, it's just not that guy, who was first-team all-defenses 2 years in a row. And to hear he is the absolute worst defender, according to advanced metrics, which I would never thought I would say. He's the actual worst defender in the NBA right now. He's fouling out of basketball games. He's just not.
Is he the best shooter?
Yes, he's shooting those clothes on the sideline. He's had all the drip on. Yeah, he's shooting those clothes on. But I don't know about
he's the worst shooter and the worst defender. That's not a great combination.
Yeah, not at all. And to see them just playing a lot better without him being in the lineup, a guy who's eating 30+ mil of that cap. I don't know. I see why Katie was trying to get out of town this summer. You're seeing that on Florida Slate because that guy hasn't slowed down a bit. So, yeah, I think for the Nets, they probably would love to move him and get some more shooting. Probably need that. But, no, he's probably going to stick around that Nets roster.
I want to remind you, professional golfers John Peterson and J.J. Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com. Got out to the box yesterday, saw about 8 innings of action yesterday. Brady Neal with a couple of homers and a double, doing a really, really good job behind the plate. Saw some real velocity out of Paul Skeens, 99 miles an hour on the gun. He was the first guy to pitch yesterday against McNeese. So a lot of good stuff for LSU yesterday. The offense was a little bit slow to get going in the first 6 innings, but they swung the bat a little bit better later in the day. So I don't think the offense is going to be a huge problem for this team. The first thing I did see when I sat down was Dylan Cruz hit an opposite field homer. So he's still there and still quite good. So a little bit more baseball talk a little bit later in the week. And fired up, Jeremy, that basketball is here. The women start tonight against Bellarmine, and the men will kick things off Wednesday night at 7 o'clock against Kansas City, I believe, the Kangaroos, as they were. So the Matt McMahon era will start on Wednesday. I can't wait to get to the PMAC, and we'll certainly preview that. You got a pick for the Saints tonight?
I'm going to go. I know I was picking, look, this is not the same flavor, so I can just be, rational and think with my brain, use conventional wisdom. The Saints are going to lose this game. Sorry to tell you guys, the Ravens they're playing well right now. They're getting a little rhythm, even without Mark Andrews. I think Lamar's just going to have one of those special games, and he's playing for his contract life right now. And the Saints is probably a team to get that going against with them trying to contain an electric guy like that. So I got the Ravens winning. Don't really have a score right now, but I just feel like the Ravens are going to win that game.
Saints by 50. Keep the positive vibes in South Louisiana. We'll see. I think the Dome is going to be a lot of fun tonight. Usually for a primetime game, the city of New Orleans shows up. There might be still a slight hangover for a lot of those that were in Baton Rouge over the weekend, but for those that get inside the Dome, it should be a really fun environment. I haven't even checked to see what the point spread is on that game tonight. We will take a quick look at that on the FanDuel Sportsbook and see what the number is. The Ravens were a slight favorite last week. Yep, 1.5. So just about to pick them 1.5 there for the Ravens. I think that sounds about right. Should be a close one. Hopefully it doesn't come down to a kick because the Ravens are pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. We'll be talking about it tomorrow with Sharif Ishak. Glenn West of Go247 will be with us tomorrow as well, talking about what he saw at the baseball field yesterday, basketball coming up, and, of course, that Fighting Tiger football squad as we start to get ready and turn the page toward Arkansas. Had a lot of fun on the show today. If you missed any of it, catch it on demand, 1045ESPN.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Whole first hour was all LSU and Bama. We had a lot of fun doing that. Jimmy Ott's Game Time coming at you from 6 to 8 this evening. Matt Moscona about to drive you home with After Further Review. We will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday. Hopefully the Saints get things done. And we'll see you at the same time, same place, 1 to 3 every single weekday on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.